This is the first disarming technique I will demonstrate will be against a cylinder-operated gun. This is a .38 snub-nose special. I always recommend when handling a live weapon to check it to make sure that it's unloaded. Make sure there's no shells in the chamber. When you pass it on to your training partner, they will once again check it a second time. The first situation we'll put ourselves in, first of all, is a front attack. The first technique can be applied from a low, middle, or high hostage type of situation. Now, first of all, there's many factors going into disarming a weapon. The distance has to be right, the situation has to be right, the timing has to be right when you would decide to go for the weapon. All those factors are taken into account. What I'm going to concentrate on first will be just a mechanical application of the technique and the body mechanics on how to apply and how to move your body. The first thing you have to remember when disarming a technique or demonstrating a disarming technique against a weapon is clear the body from line of fire. In this situation, I'm going to be leaning to the right. At the same time, he hasn't asked me to put my hands up, so it's best to have your hands down unless they tell you to put them up. Then if they tell you to put them up only halfway, unless they tell you to raise them up. You have to do what they say, but basically you don't do any more than you have to do because it makes it a little more difficult to go for the disarming technique. So what I'm going to do here, since he hasn't asked me to put my hands up, as a weapon comes out in many situations, as soon as the weapon appears, you have to go for it at that time. You don't know if you're going to be shot or they just put it there to hold you as a hostage or it's an armed robbery type situation. Being a police officer, sometimes the weapon is put on you, you're going to be a hostage. And a lot of times in situations I've been involved in, as a weapon comes out, you have maybe 5/10 of a second to react before you're able to pull that trigger. So as soon as it appears, clear the body. My right hand's coming across, grabbing the cylinder. Since right now this is on double action, he has to pull the trigger in order for this weapon to fire. By grabbing the cylinder, he cannot fire the weapon at all, so that makes it a little easier for me. The second situation, which we'll cover a little later, is single action. Now all he has to do is just pull the trigger and the hammer goes forward. So that cuts our reaction timing down in half. All right, this first situation, I'll do a couple times fast and I'll break it down. By clearing the body, bringing the right hand across, grabbing the cylinder, coming up with the left hand under the barrel, you'll see that no part of my body is in line of fire. At the same time, twisting the weapon back towards your assailant's face. The trigger finger now is trapped inside the trigger guard and the trigger, creating a tremendous pressure, and it would break it if you can see this right here. By stepping back, using my body weight to my advantage, clearing my body, stepping back, I'm able to pull him down to the mat, putting him in a situation. As you disarm the weapon, always step back, away, and set up for firing in case you have to defend. In many situations, a person maybe has one weapon on you, but they have another weapon in another pocket, so they may come out with another weapon. So on this particular technique from the side view, you'll see me clear the body, grab the weapon. One mistake a lot of people make is they push the weapon too far to the outside. Then you have to go too far out to grab it back. So it's very important not to move any more than you have to move. The fastest techniques are short and clean. You'll see as I lean here, as I'm able to hit back with the left hand, I'm using my hip action for tremendous power and leverage. Then I'm dropping my body weight straight down on his wrist, then stepping back, pulling the weapon out, and setting up for firing.